Lucille Huck left the title of housewife during the Second World War to work in a factory riveting airplanes. From then on, she never went back to the kitchen. This is Lucille's story told by her daughter, Carol Nixon.
My mother had always stayed at home and taken care of the household, and she went to work.
Thousands of men left their jobs to fight in the Second World War. Women stepped up and produced the machinery needed, such as planes, tanks, and ammunition. Between 1940 and 45, the number of working women increased by 10%. Factories offered higher wages for those willing how to be welders, electricians, mechanics, riveters, and other jobs that were unheard of for women in the past.
Have you heard of Rosie the Riveter? My mother was Lucille, but she was a riveter.
The name Rosie the Riveter represented all of the women who worked for the war effort during World War II. The term first appeared in 1942 in a song titled Rosie the Riveter by John Jacob Loeb and Red Evans. The next year, the cover of the Saturday Evening Post had a Norman Rockwell drawing of a woman wearing overalls and holding an overly sized riveting gun. It's obvious that Rockwell heard the Rosie the Riveter song because he put in a lunch pail with Rosie written on it. Even though this is the first drawing of Rosie, the picture we associate with her was published a year earlier, the famous We Can Do It poster. After a while, the government started using these images of Rosie as propaganda to move women out of the kitchen and into the workplaces.
And she worked in a factory where they made airplanes.
By 1945, almost 1 in 4 married women worked outside the home. The majority worked in factories, making airplanes, ammunition, and everything else that was needed for the war. To encourage more women to come and work, aircraft factories offered wages up to 40% higher than average jobs. While working, women felt empowered and independent, especially because they could earn their own money. Eunice Sawyer, who worked at a Boeing factory, said this: "My mother warned me when I took the job that I would never be the same. She said, 'You will never want to go back to being a housewife.' At the time, I didn't think it would change a thing, but she was right, it definitely did. At Boeing, I found a freedom and an independence that I had never known. After the war, I could never go back to playing bridge again, being a club woman, when I knew there was things you could use your mind for. The war changed my life completely. I guess you could say, at 31, I finally grew up."
All the day long, where the rain or shine, she's a part of the assembly line. She's making history, working for victory. Rosie the Riveter keeps a sharp lookout for sabotage, sitting up there on the fuselage. That little frail can do more than a male can do. Rosie